Good afternoon, friends. I'd like to welcome you today to What's in Tegan's Storage Locker. It's the show that dares to ask the question, just what is in my storage locker? The answer today, well, friends, once again, the answer is comic books. Last time, we had a little bit of a detour. Maybe we'll have a detour again. I don't know, but our bread and butter is comic books. I'm going to try to get back up to speed with recording videos regularly here. I enjoy doing it, but I think it got a little bit stale for me. So maybe we'll try something a little bit different with a shorter video. We'll see. That's the goal. That's what we're aiming at. If you like these videos, if you like anything I do, please check out the Patreon. I got tons of stuff for you to download right there, available as we speak. So let's kick things off here with an issue of Hourman from, oh my God, he is just being a real pill tonight, folks. I have already tried recording like 3 times, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He just wants to demolish the whole setup. He's an agent of chaos. Come on. What was I saying? Let's get off to a good start here with an issue of Hourman from July, I think it was. July 2000. So, Hourman. Hourman was a great series. One of my favorite series. For every month, it hit the stands. If you don't know, because he's not on the cover of his own comic, that's Snapper Carr and the Joker. It's the Hourman from who first premiered in Grant Morrison's run of JLA. And that run had very long coattails. A lot of series launched successfully out of the Grant Morrison and Howard Porter JLA. And this, it only lasted 25 issues. Now, from our perspective, in the year 2025, we can say, oh, 25 issues. That's a nice, healthy run. At the time, a beloved, I think it's fair to say, critically acclaimed book that was spun off from one of the industry's juggernauts, only making it 25 issues. It was something of a scandal. In hindsight, it was a bellwether. After the calendar clicked over to the 21st century, we would see smaller series that don't necessarily have marquee characters, no Batman or Superman. They struggle, and they still struggle to this day. Aquaman, Green Lantern, go long periods of time now without having regular series. That is an exceptional state of events, historically speaking. So, yeah, this issue is dealing with Snapper Carr, who is the, I want to say, co-headliner of this book. I don't remember it all that well, 2.5 decades removed, but the main thrust of the series, he is feeling his oats tonight. The main thrust of the series is these two guys, Hourman, who is from 1 million years in the future, 1 million months in the future, sorry, and Snapper Carr. It's sort of a buddy comedy. Snapper's going through a bit of a early midlife crisis over the course of the series. And this issue is dealing with the root of many of his problems is the fact that he was the original version of the Justice League's kid sidekick. And he fell from grace rather spectacularly when he betrayed the team to the Joker. Now, that ruined his life. Even though, yeah, he got tricked by the Joker, but still at the same time he lost the trust of, if you lose Superman's trust, where do you go from there? And indeed, you can see he did not go far from there. And much of the series is devoted to him trying to dig himself out of that hole, and I think this issue was dealing with the crux of the matter. Oh, here's an ad for Toonami. I don't know if this was the first time Dragon Ball was aired in America, but it's the beginning of Dragon Ball's ubiquity, certainly on Cartoon Network. And you see he's got a dumpy apartment with cinder block furniture, which, you know, nowadays that's everyone. Back in the 90s, that was a symbol of the demi-monde. What are you doing? And now it's just what everyone does because no one has any money. So yeah, Snapper Carr, super traitor. That gets to the heart of it. He was drummed out of the Justice League for, well, you know, betraying the team to the Joker. That's kind of a red line, I guess. Corn nuts. Oh my goodness, corn nuts. One snack food I just never really understood. They do not taste good. They taste like burnt tires to me. And their mascot says like one-eyed crow. All right. They're still pushing Game Boy, first generation Game Boy Color. Anyway, I don't know if he did every issue. There were probably fill-ins. But the series was penciled by Rex Morales. Some of his very best work. I used to be quite a fan of his. He's just an excellent artist. And then he did a series called Identity Crisis. And he's actually said, I think, that Identity Crisis was a negative turning point in his career. He didn't like that. He didn't like being involved with that. And it rather stained his reputation, I think. I think it stained the reputation of everyone who was involved in it. It was popular. It sold well. It's not remembered well. It was not received well. So, kind of an odd one to have on your resume. Written by the ever-reliable Tom Peyer. What are you doing? Well, at least he's playing with his rattling ball. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So, yeah, we're looking back at some of the Justice League's classic adventures here with Hourman inserted. Dreamcast is still huffing along. So you see, it's just a gorgeous book. It is a beautiful book. So yeah, I don't know, is this a dream sequence? I'd have to stop and read to figure out what's going on here. But he's dealing somehow. Oh, another one of these weirdo PlayStation ads. What is this? What is this an ad for? Something called Wild Arms. The screenshot's way over here in the corner. How is that an effective advertisement? How is that an effective advertisement, I ask you? With your help, we'll demonstrate the superiority of normalcy to everyone. With your help, we'll make the superheroes, supervillains, bohemians, immigrants, and deviants give us our country back. Well, you see, the more things change. And it's the Joker. There you go. Tobacco is wacko. These are the ones that were paid for by the tobacco companies, right? I think a bunch of these were. Lorillard Tobacco Company's Youth Smoking Prevention Program. Yeah, there you go. Again, first generation PlayStation ads that go out of their way to just confuse you about what you're trying to be sold here. The extreme taste of tanning now comes in a pouch. Well, that's not such a bad ad because, I mean, you know, you got an orangutan in a kangaroo's pouch. That who doesn't want to see that? I don't remember who that character was, but she was a love interest for... oh, wait a minute. This was Snapper's ex And then she started making moves on Hourman. Okay. There we go. It's been a while. I haven't reread the series since, but I really liked it when it came out. Maybe it deserves a reread, but I'd have to put them all in one place before I did that. EverQuest. Okay, here is an actual ad that sells you what you're going to be getting with this game. Although EverQuest, oh man, that was one of the first MMORPGs. Is that the acronym? I know this game was a strain on a number of people's marriages, which should tell you the demographics of gaming switching as the century got going there. Gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous stuff. What is this? An epic space combat RPG. Never heard of that. I mean, I obviously saw the ad when I read the comic first time around, but this one did not last, I guess. Lone Nintendo 64 ad. So, yeah. Joker's fighting the Justice League, which, you know, he can only do when he's got some sort of mind control, or, you know, if he gets one of them with his Joker gas. I think it's focused on retelling what happened, you know, sort of in a post-crisis way. And so the Joker drops his big dime here that, you know, his fight against the Justice League, he doesn't care that he loses, because the real fight is him getting to break the news that their teen sidekick betrayed the team. And that was the Joker's big move against the Justice League. They sulked for weeks. The JLA will always be fond of you, Snapper. You overreacted to your shame then, and you're overreacting now. No, I don't think so. He betrayed them to the Joker. Come on. Be reasonable. One of these real-world books. I think they only made like 3 of them. This one had Jose Luis Garcia Lopez with Joe Rubinstein on inks. Interesting idea that I don't think anyone ever had anywhere to go with. No, J. Caleb Mazzacco. That's a name I recognize. Everyone's going for this. I guess this is Multipath Adventures of Superman. Everyone's trying to do the online gaming, and not everyone's going to be that successful with it. Oh, and here's a milk ad with Batman. There you go. All right, so what's next? All right, let's look at some Savage Dragon. This is, when I saw the number, my eyebrow raised, because this is 74, right before 75, which was the big paradigm-shaking issue that completely blew up the world, technically blew up the entire Image universe, but none of the other Image books didn't touch it because they weren't obligated to. But what happens in 75 is he kills a villain, and it changes history, and the whole world gets turned into a Kamandi-esque nightmare. So this is right before that, and yeah, one of the hallmarks of the Dragon through to this day, now that, you know, Malcolm Dragon has taken over the book and his kids are part of it, is it's in real time. So all these characters, including the Dragon and all of his supporting cast, they all have kids, and they all have their own lives that continue to evolve and change even when they're not on the panel. Man, Freak Force, I think that's Sergeant Marvel and She-Dragon. Once the book starts getting into alternate Earths, I mean, I love Savage Dragon, don't get me wrong, but the actual continuity is completely impenetrable. And then there's your answer. There's your answer to your question, like what happens if one creator gets to follow his own series for almost 300 issues? The answer? Well, as we have seen with Savage Dragon, as we saw with Cerebus, even Spawn, the continuity just becomes absolutely a thicket. And this is still early enough. Oh, it's still gorgeous, though. After 75 is when he makes a big move towards Jack Kirby. But even here you can see it was always prominent, but as he got older especially, the Kirby really started to come out quite strong in everything he did. See, this is Jennifer Murphy, and they have to specify, well, I'm not from another dimension. I'm the Jennifer Murphy you know. And I think there's two different Jennifer Murphys. I want to say their daughters are running around the book now with, oh man, see what I mean? There's Mighty Man, the world's mightiest man. I have no idea what's going on here, but it gets you going. Look at it. Never misses a step. Yeah, they're talking about Dark Lord and Dark Lord's alternate Earth that they learned about, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And all sorts of clones that they're dealing with. Yeah, see, things were getting quite complex. He's got a Batman helmet, but his name is Sergeant Marvel, so I never really figured out what his deal was. There's all sorts of pregnant clones. Yeah. No clue what's going on here, but it's fun to just flip through and see. At the time, I think I probably understood better since I'd read every issue to date. I missed some over the years. I've read most, the majority, I think, of the run. But, oh goodness, yeah, here we go. He meets, I think that's a young Malcolm Dragon, I think. And that's the baby Dark Lord. And what he does is he I think in 75, he kills the baby Dark Lord. Yeah, and they're left with his friends and I think the Special Operations Service. They're doing something else and they come across a big superpowered bomb. All right, so absolutely gibberish if you're not reading it month to month, but it's gorgeous to flip through. As with Savage Dragon to this day, he always prints these long letters pages. Got to respect that. Augie DeBleek, who is still around. Trying to find any other names I recognize. Oh, that's a nice pen. Who is that? Chris Gugliotti. That's nice. They actually did a fair amount of these Savage Dragon and Hitler's Brain Burt, because I think Hitler's brain showed up in some capacity or another. Back when Dilbert parodies were the height of humor. And there was Megaton Man strip. for a while. Oh, and Desperate Times. This was, Chris Eliopoulos. He's a letterer, and he had his own comic strip, Desperate Times, that saw print from Image. I picked up, I don't know if I have a whole run of it, but I picked it up when I saw it. What are you doing? He's tearing the house apart. Oh, Crimson Plague. I have the first issue of this because it's... He's going to tear this house apart. This is, George Perez's big move to Image for the, I think it was the Guerrilla Comics was the name of the sub-imprint that had a bunch of Marvel people like Carl Kiesel and Tom Grummett did a book. I want to say, was that when Busiek and Eminem did Shock Rockets? I can't remember. What is your problem? He's going to be 4 this year, and he still has energy like a little kitten. I can't deal with it. I thought he'd be calming down at some point. He just refuses to calm down. He just gets more fussy as he gets older. Anyway, this is quite something because it looks gorgeous because it's George Perez. The premise is that it's the premise. It didn't last long because this woman here, her blood is poison. All right, you following the premise so far? And so every month she kills everyone around her with poison. I love George Perez's work dearly, as most people do, but yeah, that was certainly a concept. And let's look at an issue of X-Men Legends. Issue number 11 is actually a recent issue of an anthology I picked up because it is a reunion. I mean, you didn't need to go too far to reunite Louise and Walter Simonson, but reuniting them on another X Factor story, that was definitely something worth picking up. So I did. These are, I think, the original, well, not the original, but the first of the Apocalypse's horsemen that we saw in the books. That's Caliban, and I can't remember if that was Famine. I don't know. No one asked me. It's been a long time since I read The Fall of the Mutants. Oh, love these M&M's ads. Love them. All right. So, yeah, you can tell immediately based on the New Mutants clothing, probably, to the issue number when this was actually set, because you've got Rusty and Skids with the team. Oh, come on, get him. All right, where was I? So, yeah, it's set in a very specific point in X-Men history. Oh, and there's the big man himself, Apocalypse. Story takes place before New Mutants 77, so basically before the trip to Asgard. That essentially, even though the book still had a while to go, they went to Asgard for like half a year, and then when they came back to Earth, everything was sort of scattered to the winds, and then they ended up being taken under the wing of a dude named Cable. So that's when this takes place. And oh goodness, we got lots of characters here. Looks like Morlocks and Feral, who had not appeared yet, but I guess they're putting her with the Morlocks chronologically here. So yeah, Walter Simonson never drew a bad comic book in his life. To this day, he can still draw a very nice looking comic book. Morlocks are up to something. The New Mutants are involved. Yeah, it's great. Gotta love it. Famine. That's Famine. That's... I still don't know which one that one is. They're still after the poor Morlocks. Oh, they're pushing the X Lives of Wolverine, which I don't think really amounted to much. I read a couple issues of it. It didn't suck me in. I know, I keep saying one of these days I need to go back and just do the whole Krakoa era, but haven't done it yet. Look at it. I have no idea what's going on here, but it just looks so gorgeous. Yeah, they don't draw them like this anymore, folks. Who's inking him here? I missed that. Oh, he's inking himself. John Workman's lettering, of course. Oh, so I guess they're here against Apocalypse's wishes because Danny summons an illusion of Apocalypse and he freaks out temporarily. Oh, Mask. There you go. Captain Carter. There's a character who I think they overestimated her appeal based on the success of the cosplay. Jamie McKelvey wrote that one, but he didn't draw the interiors. Interesting. I need to go back to this. What they need to do is they need to put all the Demon Days stuff in between two covers, because there's a lot of it. And especially now that Peach Momoko's done all the Unlimited X-Men, or not Unlimited, Ultimate X-Men stuff. Look, I mean, it's just gorgeous. I have no idea what's going on. There's too many word balloons for me to read at a glance here. But it looks nice. I got it because it had Walt Simonson art and does not disappoint. Look at this. Look at this. And we actually looked at this. It was in the multi-comics pack that I picked up for my birthday. The David Messina art. Women of Marvel. I guess the next issue has Kitty and Nightcrawler with a Chris Claremont story, but drawn by Scott Eaton. I guess Alan Davis only does the cover here. All right. That is an ugly looking watch. That's probably not the reaction they wanted you to have when they see the ad. All right, so that's what we're doing now. If you like this show, as I said, if you like anything I do, please check out the Patreon. Pop in, download a bunch of stuff. I do every other day new comic book reviews that are published on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Bluesky. 3 different places you can find my every other day comic book reviews. And I'm slowly, it's kind of a hassle, but I'm putting all the old ones up in omnibus format on this side as well, so you can track those down and get the whole record of everything I've done in that format. Still got a podcast with Claire Napier called Udder Madness. We talk about Top Cow comics. Haven't updated in a while, but all of our old podcasts are still on the internet. You can go listen to your heart's content. I should have something new up at the Journal here very soon, if not imminent. They have a few articles of mine in the woodshed. So check that out when you get a chance. I'm trying to think. Please, have a good day. Take care of yourself. Be kind to animals, small children, all that good stuff. And please, please, be well.